Keeping a close eye on your forecast and tracking active showers and storms across the Gulf Coast. More possible later on this evening. I'll be breaking down all of your forecast details coming up.
Plus, the Mobile City Council meeting is underway right now. We have a full preview on what projects your tax dollars could be used on next. Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm Jennifer Lambers.
And as always, we begin with a look at our forecast this morning. Jen, it's been active around the Fox 10 studios. Heard a couple cracks of thunder just a few seconds ago. What about other areas, though?
Yeah, so we are really starting to see this turn from an isolated to a more scattered look, especially for portions of Mobile, Baldwin counties in the Florida Panhandle, and only expecting more of that heading into the rest of today. But let's go ahead and take a live view outside across the southeast, and really the bulk of these showers and storms is going to be impacting Mississippi and Alabama. The majority of that now beginning to push out of Louisiana. And so looking in closer towards home, really we can start to see it beginning to light up. Some of those showers, some of those storms beginning to move in. George and Greene counties and Mississippi starting to introduce some of those showers and storms. Washington, Clark County also beginning to notice more of that beginning to take place. And then it's going to be more of the pop-up showers and storms that we're seeing in Mobile, Baldwin counties. Not so much that organized line that's going to be moving in. So as you take a look towards Washington, Clark counties, just beginning to see some of those heavy showers taking place near Jackson, Grove Hill, down towards Chatham. Hearing all of that thunder, seeing just some of those lightning strikes. As you take a look closer towards Sand Hill, down towards Leakesville, beginning to see more of those heavy showers. Things active in the northern portion of Mobile County, down towards Citronelle, Stockton, Mount Vernon. Look at all of that lightning. Really just some loud storms beginning to move through, and that's only going to continue down towards southern Mobile County, pushing into southern Baldwin County, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, down towards Foley, Bon Secour. Also beginning to see just some of, or hear some of that thunder and lightning, and look over towards the eastern shore. Not quite impacting Daphne just yet, but these are only going to continue to push mainly into Spanish Fort, so be cautious, Bayway and Causeway drivers, in case you're heading out the door anytime soon. Very active storms out there, really beginning to pack a punch, especially just closer towards Satsuma, up towards South Coast, Stockton, hearing all of that along with Gulf Crest. Big Creek Lake also beginning to see some of those heavy showers along with Wilmer. And again, down into southern Baldwin County near Alberta. Now, the Florida Panhandle, mainly just isolated right now, seeing some of that closer towards Windhaven Beach. But here's a live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. Gray, gloomy, overcast skies. If you find yourself driving in any of these storms anytime soon, take it easy, take it slow. Make sure your headlights are on. That way you're visible to other drivers. Right now, the only watch that we have in place is going to be a severe thunderstorm watch for our Mississippi counties. However, the National Weather Service already talking about potentially expanding this. But here's the SPC outlook. Decent chances to see some of those strong to severe storms today. Main concerns, gusty winds, heavy downpours, frequent lightning, still some hail, and can't rule out the potential for any rotation out there. I'm going to continue to monitor these storms and keep you updated right here on Fox 10 Midday. More updates coming up in just a little bit. Ashley.
All right, Jen, thank you. We'll check back in with you soon. Well, first on Midday this morning, after delays due to the fighting with Pakistan, sources tell Fox India is inching closer to a new trade deal with the U.S. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is in Washington with more. And happening right now, the Mobile City Council is meeting today. There is a full agenda as they're discussing contracts that could cost the port city millions of dollars. The council voting on to spend more than $85,000 to buy 2 autonomous mowers for the Parks and Rec Department. The mowers are capable of cutting grass without a human operator. Take a look at that video on your screen now. The machine, we're told, has a top speed of 12.5 miles an hour, and it's capable of detecting and maneuvering around objects. The Parks Department currently has 26 human-operated zero-turn mowers for its 77 parks and says these new mowers won't impact those human jobs. Now, the city is also considering a $15 million contract to deepen the lake at Langham Park that they say would lead to environmental improvements and enhancements to recreational opportunities. Mobile officials hope to deepen the lake to a consistent 5-foot average in the lower lake and 3 feet in the upper lake. They say doing so would allow easier access for canoes and kayaks for folks on the water. Now, Fox 10 does have a crew there at the meeting right now, and we will have a full report tonight on Fox 10 News at 4 and 5. Well, coming up, we still have several stories ahead in our local and national headlines. But first, let's check in with Jen. Jen, we're tracking some rain out there this morning.
That is exactly right. I am tracking some of those showers and those storms out there, but a live view outside down on Dauphin Island where we're not quite seeing some of that activity taking place. Almost even seeing some sunshine down there at the Sea Labs. Winds are still breezy, but over the next few hours, we will start to introduce some of those isolated thunderstorms. Temperatures continuing in the mid 80s with some high humidity, but I'm going to talk more about what I'm tracking for the rest of today and your Futurecast coming up.
Welcome back. For millions living in tropical storm-prone regions, the arrival of a new hurricane season is typically business as usual. But in the wake of last year's deadly and costly systems like Hurricane Helene, many victims are still struggling to recover 8 months after the destruction. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look at how many are faring today as they keep worried eyes to the sky, awaiting future storms.
So we're predicting an above average season once again, 2025 above average.
In the wake of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's 2025 Hurricane Outlook Report, residents and business owners across swaths of the South still suffering from the devastation caused by last year's storms. Hurricane Helene made landfall in Florida's Big Bend almost a year ago before inflicting some of the worst damage as it tore through mountain communities in western North Carolina. Intense winds and flooding caused roughly $60 billion in damage across the Tar Heel state and killed more than 100 people.
About 30% of our total business community was just totally destroyed in the flood.
Local officials in Chimney Rock Village hope to reopen their tourist-friendly downtown by Memorial Day. The damage was too severe.
Anybody that's shot a gun or a bow and arrow knows you don't always hit the target.
Still, signs of ongoing recovery persist.
We've been here for almost 30 years. And for us, you know, the day after the storm, we didn't even question whether we were going to rebuild or not. We knew right away that we weren't going to let go.
But officials say there are plenty of others who say they don't have the heart or the finances to rebuild. Many are still ironing out their plans as weather experts urge them to start preparing for this season's storms.
These businesses lost everything. They lost their building, their land.
This year's Atlantic hurricane season kicks off June the 1st. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Welcome back in this morning. Harvard University was in court this morning trying to stop the Trump administration from revoking its ability to enroll international students. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, the White House is also making plans to revoke all of the school's federal funding. Harvard
committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Right now, we're following news out of Philadelphia. Police say 11 people were shot at a park last night. 2 people were killed in that shooting. 9 were injured. Authorities say multiple rounds were fired at Fairmount Park after a car meetup. Police also say multiple groups were at the park at the time of the shooting. An adult male and female were killed. And 3 teenagers ranging in age from 15 to 17 were among the hurt. Earlier in the day, Fairmount Park was filled with families and community members enjoying Memorial Day cookouts when the unthinkable happened. In the meantime, the FBI is cracking open 3 of D.C.'s biggest unsolved mysteries. Deputy Director Dan Bongino says he and FBI Director Kash Patel are throwing fresh firepower at these cases. Fox News correspondent David Spunt has more.
The FBI cracking back open 3 major Biden-era cases. The leak of the Supreme Court draft opinion overturning Roe v. Wade, the discovery of cocaine at the White House, and the D.C. pipe bomb investigation. Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino making the announcement on social media over the weekend. Quote, shortly after swearing in, the director and I evaluated a number of cases of potential public corruption that, understandably, have garnered public interest. We made the decision to either reopen or push additional resources and investigative attention to these cases. The FBI now continues to analyze video of a masked suspect planting a pipe bomb outside the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the Republican National Committee headquarters on January 5th, 2021. Bongino and FBI Director Kash Patel also want to look into cocaine found in a locker in the West Wing of the White House in the summer of 2023, where officials say hundreds of people pass through each day, including visitors. The Secret Service could not narrow down the suspect pool below 500 people and shut down the investigation just days later. And finally, the FBI taking a closer look at how reporters at Politico received the Supreme Court Dobbs case, overturning Roe v. Wade, and published it weeks before the Supreme Court overturned the federal right to abortion. The Supreme Court did an internal investigation but never named a suspect. The move towards transparency is being welcomed.
I think that sunlight and transparency is critically important. And it's because they've been using the criminal justice system and investigations to achieve political goals, political ends. And we cannot have that.
Bongino says if you have any information, you can reach out to the FBI. In Washington, David Spunt, Fox News.
Also this morning, Baton Rouge police arrest an 8th escaped inmate as the manhunt continues for the last 2 escapees. Baton Rouge police arrested Lenton James Van Buren Jr. yesterday after receiving a tip from an anonymous person. Van Buren was arrested while sitting on a bench near a department store. Police have now arrested 8 of the 10 inmates who escaped a New Orleans jail on May 16th. Now, investigators say 13 people have also been arrested for allegedly aiding the inmates after their escape. The remaining inmates on the run include Antoine Massey and Derek Groves, who police warn are both considered armed and dangerous. In the meantime, authorities in Arkansas are searching for an inmate who broke out of prison Sunday afternoon. Grant Hardin is the former police chief of the town of Gateway, but was sentenced to a combined 50 years for a 2017 murder and the rape of a teacher inside a Rogers school in 1997.
So it makes it even more shocking when a person who wears the badge would betray not only victims but his community's sense of right and wrong, which obviously it doesn't appear he believes in.
Prior to the crimes, Hardin worked for at least 4 separate law enforcement agencies, including the Fayetteville Police Department, the Huntsville Police Department, and the Eureka Springs Police Department. Listen to this. Dozens of dogs are recovering after Alaska police rescued them from unimaginable conditions. Anchorage police assisted Animal Care and Control in seizing 71 dogs from a single residence. They say it was one of the most severe neglect cases they've ever seen. No details were shared about the conditions, though, but police say neglect charges are pending. Meanwhile, the dogs are now in a shelter and will be up for adoption soon. Well, still ahead on Fox 10 Midday, the FBI is taking a closer look at 3 unsolved Biden-era cases. Plus, Southwest Airlines is ending free checked bags this week. We'll have that story and much more in your business headlines. But first, Jen, it's not that pretty of a day today.
That is exactly right, Ashlyn. Unfortunately, it's gray, gloomy, and overcast. Some areas starting to see some sunshine, but I wanted to go ahead and show you our Orange Beach camera. Now, a reminder that's got struck by lightning last week, so we can't move it right now. Hopefully going to get it fixed here soon. But still, I wanted to point out how isolated some of these showers and storms are, some just over the Gulf waters. On the far right of your screen, also beginning to notice some of those just a little further inland for coastal Baldwin County. Just make sure you're driving carefully out there. I'll continue to keep you updated on where these are and what you can expect for the rest of today coming up when we come back.
Jen, thank you. Listen to this. The bags fly free era is sadly over at Southwest Airlines. Volvo is scaling back. Today is National Moving Day, and the Indy 500 scores pretty big on Fox. Fox business correspondent Jerry Willis has today's business headlines.
Southwest Airlines was known for its slogan, "Bags Fly Free," but that's not the case anymore. Starting Tuesday, the airline will start charging $35 for a checked bag for tickets purchased. A second bag will cost $45. Flyers with elite frequent flyer status, or those who buy a more expensive ticket, will still be able to check a bag for free. Carmaker Volvo is slashing 3,000 mostly white-collar jobs as it continues to restructure. Higher costs, a slowdown in electric vehicle sales, and tariff uncertainty, all factors. The Swedish automaker aiming to cut $1.9 billion in costs. A new report from Pods Moving and Storage reveals the biggest moving trends across the country. Coastal towns Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina, topping their list of most moved-in cities for a record-setting third straight year, while the Dallas-Fort Worth area made it back into the top 5 for the first time in 3 years. LA leads the pack for the 4th year in a row with the most move-outs. Finally, more than 7 million people tuned into the Indy 500 on Fox, marking the race's biggest audience in 17 years. It's a 40% increase from last year's race. And it wasn't just TV. An estimated 350,000 people turned out to Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Sunday. Tickets to the event sold out for the first time since 2016. Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
Meanwhile, for the nearly 1 in 4 Americans suffering from knee pain, a new study reveals pain relief may be possible through the ear. According to early trial results, stimulating the vagus nerve through the ear improved knee pain for some patients. For the initial trial, using a vagus nerve stimulation device placed on the ear for an hour. The device then sent electrical pulses to the branch of the vagus nerve running through the ear. Overall, a third of the participants say they felt a noticeable improvement in their knee pain following that treatment. This innovative treatment option is already approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for treating conditions like epilepsy and depression. I've had a few friends use this and it's been successful for them as well. Now, a new study says hitting the treadmill or riding an exercise bike can improve a cancer patient's odds significantly. Pooled data from 6 previous U.S.-based studies involving more than 90,000 cancer survivors. The team looked at the average amount of moderate or vigorous exercise that survivors reported after their cancer diagnosis. And overall, engaging in some physical activity lowered risk of death by about 29% on average. But getting the recommended amount of exercise per week, 2.5 hours, lowered risk of death an average of 42%.
It's a fight against cancer, or the global fight against cancer. And so cancer, impacts everyone, no matter their culture, nationality, background, gender. It's a global battle.
Yeah, right now a 19-year-old pilot is on a mission. Ethan Guo is piloting a specially modified Cessna 182 and has 20 countries and 2 more continents to go on his journey. Guo says the flight is not just about setting a personal record, though. It's about the fight against cancer. He is looking to raise $1 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in honor of his cousin, who was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now, Guo has gained over 1 million Instagram followers during his journey and has also made stops along his journey at children's hospitals to encourage young patients to just keep dreaming. Well, still ahead on Fox 10 Midday, 2 baby pandas in Hong Kong get their names. What they are, coming up. It's a sweet story you won't want to miss. Welcome back. We have some very good news.
Hong Kong's twin panda cubs finally have names.
Yeah, meet Jia Jia and Dede.
These were the results of a naming competition.
Yeah, giant panda Ying Ying gave birth to the cute cubs at Ocean Park last August.
The twins were nicknamed Elder Sister and Little Brother until their official names were decided. Absolutely adorable.
I wonder what their names mean.
I don't know.
They're so cute. We've talked about this before on the newscast.
Almost falling.
Pandas are so sweet. Listen, I would love to have one of those.
Oh, yawn.
But do we have any in Alabama zoos? Have we talked about this before?
No, none in Alabama. I know that the Atlanta Zoo had some. The Memphis Zoo used to. I think there was one in California that did. A lot of them went away, so I could have probably told you beforehand. I don't know which ones have brought them back.
Looks like we have to go to Hong Kong now to meet these cuties. All right. Well, it's one of the most popular fruits around the world. We're talking about grapes.
That's exactly right. And what better day to celebrate the grape than on today, National Grape Day.
Wow. Archaeologists report that grapes have actually been around for 130 million years. That's a long time.
Today, there are nearly 10,000 known varieties varieties of grapes from around the world.
Really? About 1,300 of those are specific varieties found in vineyards.
The Department of Agriculture says 6 million tons of grapes are grown in the U.S. each year.
And of that, more than 70% goes to winemaking. Jen just walked grapes up to me while we were reading. I was like, what is this? Yay! You came prepared today, like always.
I did. Accidentally brought in some green grapes for my lunch today.
I love it.
Yep, I always
You were
enjoy
so prepared.
having them in the summertime.
I'm glad you brought green because these are my favorite.
Exactly.
I don't love the red, but I love the green.
Have you tried the cotton candy ones?
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm not, no.
You need to try them. They're good. They're a little bit on the pricier side, but they are great, especially if you have kids.
The crunch. Where'd you get these?
Aldi. Thank you, Aldi. But yeah, but in the summertime, put these in the freezer.
Really?
Fantastic.
I'm gonna have to try it, especially down here when it gets super hot.
Oh, yes.
I love it. I'm gonna hold this one because I don't want them to hear me chew anymore. All right. Well, today in entertainment news, a close call in Hollywood and a big sale at the Cannes Film Festival.
Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Miley Cyrus suffers for her art. The performer said on Jimmy Kimmel Live she had to be hospitalized in November for a brutal infection in her kneecap after filming herself rolling around on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The shoot was for her fantasy pop opera Something Beautiful, set to play in U.S. theaters June 12th. Her album of the same name comes out Friday.
Un réalisateur, une caméra, de la pellicule, un producteur.
Nouvelle Vague was the French new wave of art films, including Jean-Luc Godard's classic Breathless. Nouvelle Vague is also the title of Richard Linklater's new movie, which depicts the shooting of Breathless in the iconic style of that film. The love letter to cinema debuted at this year's Cannes Film Festival, where Deadline reports it received an 11-minute standing ovation and sold to Netflix for $4 million, the most a U.S. outlet has ever paid for a French-language film. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, Jen, I'm actually excited about this one because I don't know if you know this, I am 92% fluent in French.
I did not know that.
Fun fact, yes. So I studied French from the time I was in 7th grade throughout college, and I'm really hoping I can use it on air one day because I haven't been able to.
Je ne parle pas français.
Wow.
I do not speak French.
Bon travail. Good job. I'm going to ask you what the weather is in French. Ready? For any of our French viewers, I guess, or French-speaking viewers. Quel temps fait-il? What is the weather?
Okay, I can answer that one. See, I learned Spanish, Latin, German, and French, but my main takeaway is knowing how to not say any of them.
There you go.
That's my one takeaway. Well, let's talk more about your forecast right now. And just a reminder, it's a great time to download the Fox 10 Weather app. That way you're tracking along with some of the showers and the storms out there. It is active. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at what exactly we are seeing out there. And my main takeaway, look towards the very meeting point of Washington, Clark, Monroe, and Baldwin counties. That is where we have that severe thunderstorm warning taking place. It is active, especially with all that thunder and that lightning. The reason for the severe thunderstorm warning was going to be some of the gusty winds that were possible, but really we were seeing quite a bit of lightning within this storm too. Just make sure that you're driving carefully in case you are heading out anytime, just because some of the heavy downpours, it could lead to some of that very limited visibility out there. But just still starting to see more of those storms beginning to ramp up just closer towards Franklin and Monroe County. Very active there. Northern Mobile County starting to see some of those improvements down towards Lucedale. A lot of heavy rain taking place here at the Fox 10 News Studios. We're near I-10 and I-65, and there was some heavy rain about 20 seconds ago. I could hear it on our roof. Now it's a little more quiet. This is going to be the trend for today. Off and on showers with another round coming in later on tonight. I'll have a final look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit. More Fox 10 Midday is on the way, but here's a live view outside down in D'Iberville, Mississippi from our Scarlet Pearl camera. We'll be right back after this. Please drive carefully out there.
Welcome back. Listen to this story. Firefighters face a shockingly dangerous moment when part of a building comes crashing down. Patrick Cornell has the wild caught on camera moment in today's Take a Look at This.
Watch the explosive moment Arizona firefighters miraculously escape danger. Incredibly, no one was hurt. Watch again as the roof collapses, sending smoke, flames and debris flying. Video taken shortly before the close call shows firefighters working on the roof of the burning building in Tucson. Authorities say crews were still there when it imploded. The aerial view of the aftermath shows just how amazing it is that everyone walked away okay. Sticking with the theme, when the ceiling caved in on a Kentucky kitchen, authorities were shocked to find a black bear did that dirty deed, discovered simply sitting on the stove. That'll jolt you awake quicker than your morning coffee. Eagle-eyed internet sleuths spotted fictional Deputy Sheriff Barney Fife near the crime scene, and he's seen this before.
There's a bear in there.
Fish and Wildlife say the wild animal worked its way up a ladder into the attic where one misplaced paw led to calamity. Officials eventually helped the bear escape through an open door. And last but certainly not least, one doggone good story. These best buds reunited on Memorial Day weekend.
My boy. Oh, it's my baby.
Army Specialist Cameron Markert and Attila, a bomb-sniffing German shepherd, served together and traveled the world on dozens of missions. The partners had to be separated when Attila went into early retirement due to health problems and Cameron was reassigned. Over the holiday, American Humane Society escorted Attila from Virginia to Colorado so these pals could get back together. After months apart, Cameron was finally able to welcome Attila to his forever home. For Take a Look at This,
Attila, man. Oh my goodness.
I'm Patrick Cornell.
What a precious
I
story.
love it.
Truly a bond like no other.
Oh, I
So
love
sweet.
to see it. Congrats to them for finally being reunited. Let's go ahead and take a final look at your forecast and timing things out in our Futurecast. Again, the Futurecast models, they're struggling. So the main takeaway from this is that we have scattered showers and storms out there right now. You will start to see some breaks in that rain coverage, expecting all of this to begin clearing out of here by 3, 4 o'clock, and then we get a lull in the activity. However, just wait, there's a whole second round that's going to come into play later on into this evening, closer towards 8, 9, and 10 o'clock. However, we noticed yesterday the timing moved up, so we could potentially introduce those closer towards 6 and 7 p.m. Stay updated with us. Download the Fox 10 weather app. Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith will be tracking those later on tonight. And unfortunately, the rain isn't done here. We continue to stay unsettled with more of a similar look tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then finally start to introduce some lower rain chances. Hopefully not seeing anything by the time we get closer towards the weekend and introduce a brand new month with some below average temperatures.
Crazy to think we're almost to June.
Wild.
It's wild. Well, here's your excuse to go take a nap and enjoy that rainy weather today. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. See you at 3 o'clock.